We have a major injury report update on the Boston Red Sox catching position with major implications. I'm here to break down the severity of Connor Wong's finger injury as well as who to expect behind the plate going forward for the Sox. Welcome back to Red Sox Digest. I'm Houston, and we're going to be breaking down all of that on this episode. But first, before we get to the news, please do remember, if you're a part of the near 90% watching this video not currently subscribed to the channel, to scroll down and click the subscribe button. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down this major injury report update. And again, it is surrounding Connor Wong. Now, if you guys missed it, yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays in the first inning, there was a catching interference call where Connor Wong's glove side hand was hit by George Springer in the mix of his swing. Now, I'm going to play the clip for you guys and then break down the rest of the details that we have. But I want you guys to be able to see it and see what actually happened in the game that is now sidelining Connor Wong. So here is that clip. Now, it was really fast. That's why I did play it twice, but you can clearly see Wong's hand get hit there when George Springer started his swing. Obviously, he was rewarded first base, loading the bases in the top of the first inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. But again, what happened to Connor Wong? He went on to play the rest of that inning, catching a handful more pitches before then being removed from the game. Obviously, it did swell up severely. The broadcasters were talking about it during the current game that's going on against the Blue Jays, as it's the top of the third. 2 outs, runner on second for the Toronto Blue Jays in a 0-0 game. But again, back to the game yesterday. Wong has a fractured finger and is going to the IL. Cora said they haven't decided on a move. Sable seems likely. Again, this is from Jen McCaffrey on Twitter. Now, we'll address the Sable opinion in just a second, but more ideas and quotes from Cora about what is going on with the actual hand and how bad is it going to be. We're going to cite this article written on the Boston Globe by Julian Benbow, titled "Red Sox Fall to the Blue Jays, Lose Connor Wong to a Fractured Hand." Now, I think it's specifically the finger, the pinky finger, but again, to the hand, obviously. Cora said he was confident that Narvaez could do the job if need be. Narvaez agreed. Quote, "Nobody wants that," he said. "Connor's been a very important piece for us, and he will continue to do it. But I'm going to take the accountability, the opportunity. Hopefully, Connor will get well soon, but at the same time, in the meantime, he's out. I'm going to take accountability and help the team to win every game." And this is a quote from Narvaez, someone we recently just discussed in a video here on this channel about how he could possibly be the starting catcher going forward for the Boston Red Sox. Now, offensively, up to that point when we made that video, he was batting .400 in like 16 attempts. He was playing very, very well. And obviously, that was coming off a massive win from the Red Sox over the St. Louis Cardinals, where they ended up putting up 20-plus runs in that game, where obviously Narvaez, as well as the rest of the Red Sox lineup, was able to get their goods in and get on base a handful of times with an ample amount of either runs scored or RBIs. So again, that did obviously help Narvaez in his stat line when we did break it down. But again, going back to this actual quote from the Boston Globe, and again, the article that we're citing, Narvaez is going to be able to get these opportunities now. And with what we saw already up to this point, he's playing pretty damn well. Now, the average is down to .333, but that is obviously way better than anything we could expect. He's only had 18 attempts at the plate. Now, we have to keep that in account. He doesn't have 58 Bs and he's batting .300. Please don't get things twisted. But again, 6 hits, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBIs on the year. No long balls yet. He has not left the yard. But again, that is probably coming soon, as again, he's going to continue to get more reps. And defensively, we mentioned it in that video again, where we did break down Narvaez as a player in its entirety and how it would be great to see him as the starting catcher, is really because Wong, the entire conversation behind him this past offseason was the fact that he needed to work on his defensive abilities, as he was a very, very subpar defender. Now, this year, obviously, we've seen some improvements. We broke down the Baseball Savant page, and then if we look at Carlos Narvaez's Baseball Savant page in comparison, some things are much better, some things are just below league average because, again, the lack of attempts. He has 0 guys thrown out this year, but again, He's only had 18 plate appearances. He's only played in a handful of games up to this point, not being the starter at the catching position. And again, it's something we addressed earlier. The first game that he did get a start in against the Texas Rangers in that first season series against the Rangers for the Red Sox, he had a back pick that nearly got the Jock Peterson at first base as he almost caught him napping. He has already attempted it in this game that is currently on against the Blue Jays. And again, it is now April 8th. So there has been some time. It's something consistently that we see. He's making an effort and he has a rocket behind the dish. There's a reason these guys aren't running on him in the lack of attempts they do have because, again, the lack of playing time he's had. But again, if you look at this Baseball Savant page, a lot of these things offensively have not registered yet because he has not qualified, again, due to the lack of attempts. But the things in red at the bottom, and I know we can't take some things and not acknowledge all of them, but the positives from Carlos Narvaez outside of the defense up to this point in the year, he doesn't chase, he doesn't strike out, he walks at a high percentage, and he doesn't whiff. These three things, if you look at the bottom, and again, has not qualified, but at least up to this point, through the amount of ABs that he has had, which has been a total of 18, like we addressed earlier, he's been damn good at not striking out, at drawing walks, seeing a lot of pitches. This is something that we see from experienced guys, and mind you, he's 26 years old. This kid could be great for the Red Sox for a long time going forward. Just allow him to find a groove. Allow him to get enough games under his belt where he's going to be able to prove that. And now we are going to be able to see that because of the fractured hand, the fractured finger from Connor Wong. So this is very interesting going forward. The other option, what Jen Caffrey went on to mention, was Blake Sabol. Blake Sabol obviously did not play a lot for us, at least up to this point in this year. He did play during spring training. Last year, only had 36, 38 games played last year. The year prior, 100 plus. So again, this is 2 years ago, back in 2023, his Baseball Savant page, where again, he had an ample amount of opportunity with the San Francisco Giants. And again, the best is about league average. Everything besides the barrel percentage is relatively low on this page. And again, the barrel percentage is just above league average. So nothing is very special or popping out at you. Now, obviously, with more years comes more experience. Usually comes a better hand, especially in the player, at least a lot of the time. Blake Sabol, during spring training, was not great. Posted right around a 215 batting average. Overall, not the flashiest performance. Really didn't go out there and showcase his overall talent, or at least the idea that he could possibly be a starter, if not the second guy in the not rotation, but in the depth chart at the catching position for a team in the Red Sox that we all know is going to be a legitimate contender this season. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. The last thing we're going to address in sight is, again, from this article, again, just later on, again, quoting the article, goes on to say, Sox manager Alex Cora said Wong will go on the injured list. And then the quote, how long, we don't know, he said. Again, quoting Alex Cora, addressing how long the starting catcher in Connor Wong will actually be on the sideline, on the IL with this fractured finger/hand. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Narvaez did get the start today against the Toronto Blue Jays in the game that is currently going on. Whether or not they end up splitting the majority of the time with Blake Sabol is going to be determined. But again, if Narvaez continues to really perform in the way that he has up to this point in the year, with, again, the lack of reps, I understand. Don't be surprised if he is getting the majority of the starts even after Connor Wong returns. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.